There, is that her? Nope.
That's the chime that the recording's
I'll,
starting. So,
I'll text her.
um, just so we want to do, we want to go over website, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then also the Google Classroom.
Yes.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to you about if we should do it.
That
Okay.
was me, guys.
Yeah.
I just text Christine.
Okay.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Tanya.
I just wanted to fill you in that I had a meeting with the nurses this morning, and we had talked about if they're planning on doing anything virtual in terms of videoing with students to kind of follow up on potential medical needs, that they would need to have the Google Classroom training.
Okay. So I think for your purposes, since and Tanya, just you let me know if this sounds like a good idea to you. But so basically, just to kind of fill you guys in, we have different guidelines for Google Meets and Google Classroom, depending on everyone's role. So, for example, on Wednesday, we did a training for the counselors, and since counselors would be meeting with students individually and sometimes small groups, it didn't really make sense to have them create a classroom for each student because that would just be overwhelming. So we created a safe way, and I can demonstrate that today, for you to invite a student or a parent to a meeting, just to video chat with them, to do it just through audio. So I think that for your purposes, that would probably be best. The only reason I suggest, or the only time I suggest a Google Classroom to be set up is when you want to communicate to a large group of people or a small group of people or students. And because then you can add in things like, assignments, you can add in postings, you can add in just, like discussion points and questions and resources. So it's a nice way to kind of keep things together in one space, because when you put something in the Google Classroom, then anybody that's part of that classroom will get an email when something's posted. So it's kind of like an extra reminder for them, but it's also always a place that they could go to. It's like a one-stop shop within the classroom where they can see like everything. So for example, I did the training on the 14th for office staff, and I think some of you guys were there, I think. You were all there. So when I was talking about doing a Google Classroom in that for the building level, I was thinking that it would be a great thing for each building to have their own Google Classroom, okay? And then by doing that, they can post all of the things that need to be collected, any information that needs to go out, because then it's not only just in an email, but it's in a list, a timeline from the most recent to the oldest. And then the reason why I think that that's so important is because if people enter the district like midway, which we have a lot of people going out on leave and things like that, then they can always go back to the classroom and they can see the history of everything that's been posted since the beginning of the year. When we just, rely on email, then, they're not going to have those emails because they weren't part of our email domain at that point in time. So I would really like to see each building principal and secretaries create a Google Classroom that gives out all of that information, agendas to faculty meetings and things like that. So the reason why I bring that up is because you may want to do your own as a building nurse, or you may want to join as a teacher with the building principal and the secretaries, and then submit that information out in one place for everybody. So you do have those two options. I want to, and we haven't had the chance yet, but I want to really work with the building secretaries and the principals in the coming weeks to try to start their classrooms for next year so that they can work on them over the summer and they can post things like the, all the forms that we need to get back, the contact forms, and, all of those things that are really important. That being said, if you chose to do one with the building principals, or let's just call it, for example, the Vanderveer staff Google Classroom. Okay, it's a Vanderveer Google Classroom for all staff members. We start that, right before school starts in August. The secretaries put out, Google Forms to collect the information of what they need, and then you could post your videos of your MAN 2 training or bloodborne pathogens and all of the things that you need to put out there. And then you can create a way to for people to sign off on whether or not they've seen it. And then this way you can easily keep track of who has and hasn't done it, because it will show that it was an assignment. Here's all the people it was assigned to. And then over here, it would show you who turned it in and who hasn't. And then you only have to email those people. And within one click, you can email all of those people at once. So you could do that option as a, I'm sorry, bear with me for a second. Hello? Hi, is everything okay? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm on a training right now. Thank you though, I got worried. Okay, thanks. All right, bye. So that was my mom. She wanted to let me know. And I told her, I'm working during the week. So if it's important, call me, because her and my sisters and my dad, they're on a text chat that just blows my mind. And then I have 90 texts to read at the end of the day. So I'm I can't answer the phone, but if it's an emergency, call me. So of course I got concerned because I see, okay, it's mom, I got to pick it up. And she just wanted to know that Momo just said that they canceled school for the rest of the year. So who knows, we may be next, but whoo, okay, let's get back. Where was I? So if you were to, you may want to do a Google Classroom on your own where you have all the nursing and medical information that you need to collect, and then you're just the owner of that and you get that information back. Or you can join in on the classrooms I hope that the building principals and secretaries will create for the start of the next school year.
So if we do join as the building, can anybody go in and change what we post?
No. So let me show you. I'll share my screen with you, and I'll do a demonstration of what it would be like if I was the building principal, Tanya was the secretary, and you or all the nurses in that building. Okay. So right now I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to go to classroom.google.com. Okay, and this is going to load all of the classrooms that I have so far, which is a lot because I do a lot of the separate training ones that I need to delete. But I'm going to click on the plus sign right here, and I'm going to choose Create Class. Okay, now this class name, I'll use the elementary school that I was a teacher in before coming to Somerville. And I had a dream that I was in that building last night. So I guess it's just on my mind. So it was Midtown Community School Staff. Okay, staff classroom. Okay, so now this is going to be all of my resources for everyone. And I'm just going to say that the section is going to be the 2020-2021 school year. Okay, just so that I can keep things organized. And then I'll select create. And now it's creating my classroom. So once that loads, and it takes a few seconds to generate it because it's generating an automatic background that we can change, and I can show you how to do that later. And now here we have my school staff classroom, and this is where I will post announcements. We can generate questions, and then we can also assign things within classwork. So I'll go over that in a moment. But right now I'm going to go to people, and here is where I would add my assistant principals, secretaries, and each of you. So I'm just going to add each of you now. You don't have to accept. There you are. And I'll do Christine too, even though she's not here yet. Okay, so I would select invite then. And what that means is that each of us is an equal partner in this classroom because we have the ability to post as teachers, okay? And then I would, down here, I would invite all of our staff members as students. So they can interact and they can receive those assignments. They can show that they've submitted or haven't submitted it yet. They can complete forms. But since they're students, they're going to be listed separately. So I will just, I'm going to add the guys here. Let's make that believe they're our students. They're used to these these random emails by now. Okay, and then I'll select invite. So now they would be our students. So now what I would do is I would go here to classwork. And here is where I would want to create things that I wanted to share with my with the rest of the staff members. So I'm going to create here, and I'll create this as an assignment. Okay, so this means that I'm going to have it assigned, this form assigned to each student in the class or each staff member, and then I will see very clearly who has and has not submitted that. So I'll create an assignment, and let's call this, this is just a staff. You want me to do something like specific to you guys? Would that help? So if it's like bloodborne pathogens sign off.
Sure.
Okay. So here I can add instructions, you know, please do this. Of course, I'd be a little bit more articulate. And then I would say, I can add things here. So maybe I had a video that's going to explain the bloodborne pathogens. Or maybe in my Google Drive, I have a Google slide that shows the, that has the video. So let's go into here right now. Yes.
Cool.
Do you want me to, if you share it with me real quick, I can add that. Just trying to look for something here in the meantime so we can give you a couple of examples. Okay, well, so for right now, let's just say that these are, I wanted to make sure that everybody has seen these Google Classroom and Google Meet setup directions, okay? So I'm going to say that this is just, please review the slides and then submit the attached form. Okay. And I can add here, I can go back to my Google Drive again, and it's not going to delete what I already have. It's just going to add on. So now I have like my information, and then I have my assessment so that I can see that they've actually done what I've asked. So I would go in here, and I'm just going to find any most recent form that we've done. You know, I'll just create a new one and I'll share it. So let's call this forms.new. Okay, so here I would say, like, I'd give a description, like, by signing, by filling out your name below, you indicate that you have seen the slides, and I would put that in my description here. And then my untitled question would be, please enter your full name below. Oh boy, if you have reviewed the slides. Okay, so that now it automatically changed it to a short answer for me. It's a required question. It's going to automatically collect email addresses and give me a timestamp. So this is good to go. So I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to get this shareable link. Copy it. Okay, I'll come back to my classroom. I'm going to add a link. And I just paste this right in here. Okay, so now students have to review the slides, or the staff have to review the slides for the training, and then complete the Google form. And notice that it says here sign in, because we want to keep those default settings, because then that makes sure that you can't log in unless you have a Google account with Somerville. So then this is for the entire classroom. It's for all the students in the classroom, or I could just select some or one. There are no points, so we'll choose this as ungraded, and we can give them a due date. So let's give everyone a due date of the 28th, and we can say that this is at 3 p.m. Okay, and if I wanted to create a topic for this, so this would be, if this is the entire building's Google Classroom, then I would want to name this like medical as a topic. So then all of the medical things will be grouped together, and I can just easily click on medical and see everything that applies to your department. Okay, and then I can just choose assign. Okay, and then now you can see over here under the topics, we have the medical topic. Now, and then if the principal was posting the agenda for each faculty meeting, it could say we can have an agenda topic. If it's forms that the secretaries need, they can do their own topic, and then it makes it nice and easy to be able to just see by clicking on that exactly what the assignment is, and go to those things to make sure that they've filled out all of the medical information. So now you can see, I just want to show you here, we have 0 turned in and 1 assigned. 1 is assigned because good old Corey is the only one who's accepted the invitation. So if Tyler and Joe were to go in and accept the invitation, their names would be bold, and then we would then see that the classwork this assignment has changed from 3 assigned and 0 turned in. Okay, so now we can see that, you know, based on who's turned it in, we know that it's been assigned to him, but he hasn't actually done anything yet. So I could click on this and, you know, add a comment, you know, like, please make sure you complete, you know, yada, yada, yada. But then this way, you're not relying back on, you know, the roster list, checking off and seeing who's completed it and who hasn't. You know, you'll know exactly who hasn't done it, and you'll be able to notify them right away. So
Melissa,
It-
so if you invited 20 people to it and it says assigned 5, that means only 5 people signed into it, or?
yes, that means 5 people would have accepted the invitation through their Google Classroom. Okay, so what happens here? Let me just go back and show you. What happens here is when I invite students to the classroom, they're listed as invited and they're grayed out. They get an email and they accept that invitation to that classroom. So they click join and then they look like Corey would. Okay. So if this was the case and Tyler and Joe hadn't responded yet, I could select the check boxes next to their name and send them an email reminder telling them that they need to accept the Google invitation and complete the paperwork or complete the assignment. So it's automatically generating an email right now to them both, and it will load in a second. And then you can see that they're both BCC'd. So I don't have to worry about sending out separate emails to anybody. I can just go in and add in anybody else if I needed to, or just leave it like this. And then they both get that email, but they can't see that they can't see that the other person got the email, basically. So it kind of keeps things confidential without you having to send a ton of emails and then check back your email to see if they've responded.
Awesome. All right. Thanks.
So, hi, Christine, you raised your hand. You're on mute.
Christine, your mute button's on.
So you can send something without a 2. I didn't realize that. As long as you have something in either a CC or a BCC.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Because I assumed that you had to have something in the 2 in order for the email to go through, any email to go through.
No, it's always best to have something in the subject, but as long as you have something in the 2, the BCC or the CC, it'll go through.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Thanks.
You're welcome. So we were recording this, so whatever you didn't, you missed, we'll be able to share with you. And we were just going over how to set up a Google Classroom so that you can collect information from staff members.
All right.
If the, you know, I think, and it's totally up to you guys, I think that based on the topic feature, with the topic feature within Google Classroom, as a staff member, for me, I think it would be easiest to have it all in one place and be able to sort through the topics and you know, make sure that I've completed everything, so it's a one-stop shop. So we can do another meet sometime within the next couple of weeks with the secretaries as well, so that we can start getting this set up, because I like the way that we've set this up, where the teachers of this classroom are all of you, the secretaries, as well as the principal and vice principal, assistant principal, sorry, and then anybody else that would need to share out and collect information from people within the school. It's just a really nice way to organize everything.
But this wouldn't work for parents.
Would not work for parents, no. So it has to be within our domain. So for parents, I would suggest using things like Google Google Docs or Google Slides to share information with them based on the student, because it's very easy to make changes. So, for example, if I use this set of directions, okay, if I've already created these directions, but let's say I realized that someone brought something to my attention and I need to add a couple of slides here. I could add the slides, and because I set it up as a Google slide presentation, whoever has that link to the presentation, no matter when they click on that link, they always see the most updated version. So I don't have to worry about like sending them a PowerPoint after I've edited it. In case I, forgot something, I could just send a quick email and say, hey, I added something to slides 3 and 4, please, take a look. And it makes it nice and easy because these are living documents and slides. So for your purposes, I think I want you to kind of just consider how you might use that, what types of things, maybe make a list and work on that together about what types of things you need to collect from staff members. And then we can work on creating those Google Classrooms for the start of next school year. And then I think that, for the sake of time, if it's okay with you, if we move into just touching upon how you could set up those Google Meets with individual students just to check on them for medical reasons, if you needed video, we can do that, or we can jump right into the website portion. It's up to you.
I'm good with the website. I contact kids by phone and usually speak to the parents.
I
Okay.
see website.
Website? Okay. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to close some of my browser tabs here because I don't need them all open and we do not want to get slowed down. Okay. And now I'm going to the Board of Education website. And would anyone like to be the guinea pig?
Yeah, I will, because I know I can get into mine.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. So we're at the school district's website. I am going to go to select a school and I will choose Somerville Middle School. Okay.
By the time
You guys can see this?
Yep.
Okay. So now what I want to do, and the easiest thing for me to do, is I want to go directly where I need to be. To update the page.
I have a black screen. What am I supposed to be seeing?
You should be seeing my my desktop, or right now the faces of Christine, Maureen, Jennifer, and myself.
Okay, all I have is my black screen with the purple circle.
Okay.
click on the screen. Click somewhere else on the screen.
I'm
You
trying.
probably just turned your.
You know what? I think the best thing to do is to close out your browser tab and then go back to the calendar invitation and click on the link to join in.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, let's just give her a minute to hop back in. Okay, Allison, can you see us now?
Okay. Yes, I do. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so let's go over here. So first thing we did was we went to the SomervilleNJK12.org website, and then I selected the middle school, and it brought me to this page. Now each school is set up a little bit differently. So each school has this area up here, which is called, these are channels. They're set up differently, as well as these hot buttons here. They're global icons. They're set up differently too. We have a maximum number of 9, and the way the website is set up, I'm the only one that can make changes to these areas. The rest of the page is pretty consistent, or should be, because I met with the secretaries over the summer and explained to them where things should lie so that it's kind of consistent across the district. There's a little leeway in that, so not everything is cookie cutter, but that's fine. So right here is the health services button for the middle school. So I'm going to click on that first. The reason is because I want to be able to see what I'd like to change and then log in and start updating it. So we can see here that the health information is under the For Parents section. I'm going to go up to the top and choose User Options and Site Manager. And you know what, I'll log out of it just so that I can show you what that looks like here. I was already signed in. So I'm on the health services page. I'm going to click sign in. And my username and password is already saved. If you need me to reset that, you can ask me, and then I'll do that at some point today. You'll click sign in. And now we are signed in, but also still seeing that the website itself. What we need to do next is go again to User Options and choose Site Manager. And that gives us the back end view of the pages that we want to update. So because I started on the health services page here, that's why as soon as I signed in, it brought me to the health services page. So I didn't have to search for it because it's nestled under For Parents and I probably wouldn't have found it. So now I see that we have a home page, we have a contact information page, and I'll show you how to go in and edit them, and then we'll create another page. So I'm going to click on Home. And the way this website is set up is that there are a number of different types of apps that we can use to insert content. So I'll show you what this looks like. This is the Flex Editor app. And what that means is it's like super flexible. There's not a whole lot to it. So it's not giving me like this specific template that I have to fill in, which may or may not be, your preference, and we'll go over that. So here are the tools that you have. There's not a whole lot of like options for fonts and things like that. It's basically like smallest to largest, but then you do have headings and subheadings and titles. Anything you have can be, let's fix that. Anything you have can be bolded or italicized, underlined, or you can change the color of it if you wanted to. I'm not going to save any of this. And then we have just a free form area to type in any of our information. Okay. And again, I can hover over that. I can change the underline, and I can go back to a black color. I could highlight it again and change it to a different size with this like feather option here. And I can choose for it to just be a smaller size. Okay. And then I would select save, but I'm not going to do that. I'll cancel it. And I just want to go back in to remove that E. Okay, now I'll save that. Okay, so I'll come back up here to the home page, and that's going to give me the option for this page again. And I just want to go over, I'll make my screen a little bit bigger for you. Some of the opportunities you have for different types of apps and the layout of the page. So if we click on that, we have to choose then to add an app. And there are options here for different types of apps. This here is the, This is what I would choose most often and do choose most often because it's just content. So it's not going to give me a specific like book list where I have to, you know, enter in links or a calendar. You know, this is like the easiest thing to do is to add in content. So I just have to click create new, and I would call it new information and select create. Okay, now you can see that the content app is here from what we already, what we're just looking at. And then here's the new information that I just dragged in. If I wanted it to be above, the new information to be above what's already there, I just click and drag and move. And then when I'm done, I would select I'm done. Now, all that means is that I could either go into what we were just in and I can add on here, or I can create something that is different and it just adds on to the bottom. Now, I'll show you that on a new page. And for right now, I will delete that by going into Manage Apps and Layout. And I'll just click on this X right here, make sure I want to remove it, yes, and then choose I'm done. Okay, now instead of going back to the, let's go back to the home page. And I'm sorry, we are on the home page. I'm going to click on the home symbol right here. And then this shows me my other page that I have available. So I have contact information listed. Again, it's that content app, which is the, in my opinion, the easiest app to use. And then I can add in any information here. So I'm going to cancel that because I didn't make any changes. Again, we want to click on the home button to get back to the health services workspace. Okay, so these are all the areas of the workspace. And Maureen, can you give me an example of another page you would like to have for parents to access?
The sports physicals.
Perfect. Okay, so
that's actually on the high school page.
okay, so we can link that there. So let me go to new page, and I always choose blank page, and then we will call this sports physicals.
Yeah.
And then I will save and continue. Okay. Now, when you create a new page, we don't have any apps listed there. So that's when we want to go back to adding the app. And we're going to choose Add App. And then we want to choose Content. And this will be Create New Sports Physicals. Okay. Then when we said we have to select I'm done, and then I can go in and edit this information. All right. Now, you said that it's already on the high school page, right?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of recreating the wheel,
Maureen,
we just want to.
Maureen, isn't it also? It's also on the middle school page. Because I used to find it was easier to find the information on the middle school page than on the high school page. So
All right, probably be under athletics and activities. Student, all right there. Oh, wait a minute. It's in that middle. It's in the middle. Up, right there. Second
here?
one down, right there.
Okay. All right.
Step 2.
So would
I
you
always
want
settle for
all of this info? You would want this information on your page, right?
Sure.
Okay. So there's a couple of options that we have. We could copy all of this and paste it to your site, or we could direct everybody to this link. So what do you prefer?
Copy it.
Copy it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, just know that if we copy and whoever has access to the high school athletics department page, if they were to update something, it's not going to reflect on your page too. So you'd have to be in contact with one another if anything was changed.
This is middle school. Still the same goes with the high school?
So since it's on the middle school, it's on the high school website, but it's a middle school page.
Oh, I see.
So
It is on
we
that.
can change that up for next year.
Okay.
And we can actually move this stuff over, and then they would just have a link to, so you want everything on this page
Yeah, well, I guess we'll actually
moved
linking
over.
to that page might be better then. I didn't know this section was in the high school site. I thought this was on our site.
Okay, so what I'll do is we'll just go here. So Maureen, do you know who updated this page?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna have to work with Tim Davis to try to make this a little bit more simplistic.
I would
what
Theodore would probably be the point, probably be the person to change.
Okay, so what I would do for right now is I would just type like, please, please click, I would just say, please click this link to access SMS sports physical information. And then what I do is highlight this and choose this little chain link here. And then I'm going to go down and choose web address. And I just paste that in here. Okay, so now I save it. So now we have a brand new page. I'm going to come back to the home so you can see that there's a new page called Sports Physicals. And then if I come out here directly to your site, and this is important because after you update your site in the site manager where we just were, you always want to come back and kind of check to see if it updated, but it doesn't update automatically. You have to choose refresh. And then we'll see it reflected. So here it is. We click on Sports Physicals. And then we click and it's going to open up that high school page that we were just on.
Okay.
Okay. So then that way,
Yep. Got it.
if they're doing it, then you can just link to what they have by finding that page and then creating the new link. Let me close some of these tabs. Okay, what else might we need as a page on the middle school site?
The 6th grade immunizations.
So we're going to go down to a basic page again, save and continue. Oops, I have to add the name. So it's grade 6.
Christine, what's up? Do you need something?
Yeah. So I just have a quick, so if you, any link that you put on your page, as long as whoever the initiator of that or the owner of that link is, if they update it, it automatically updates on our page.
Yes. Yes. Now, if you decided that you wanted to work with Tim Davis and his office and secretaries to you wanted to create the pages on your own, then you would we would do the opposite. So you would build the page and then give them the link, and then they would just link it from their side.
Okay.
Okay. But for now, just to keep it simple, as you work to get your feet wet with this, I would just copy the information for what you for where you want that that to go. Here, let me just show you one other thing that we have. Oops, and I do not like this page. I chose the wrong thing. So let me come back here and I'm going to delete that. So I click on actions and I choose delete and choose yes. Okay, now here is where I'd linked that information and it went back to the high school. Another way to do that
Right.
is to go over here to actions, and I think it's in page options. Just bear with me for a second. I haven't done this in a while. Oh, yes. Okay. So this is even a little bit easier. We have our sports physicals page, and then we can map to a web address. And instead of putting in that text, now we just click and paste in that page, and it's going to redirect to that page instead. So instead of seeing this text that we put there, I'll refresh the page. Excuse me. Let me come back to middle school. And we'll go to the health services. Okay, and now if I click on sports physicals, instead of going to that page, it brings me right here, which is actually a little nicer for the end user or the person that's navigating the website, because instead of clicking on your page and then going to that page, we just made a direct link to that information. So here, Maureen, the incoming 6th grade parent letter, does that let's see if that has anything to do with immunizations. No, it does not. Okay. So in that case, we're not mapping it back to anything. We're going to come here and we're going to make a new page, and we want this to be the blank page. I clicked basic before. I'm sorry. We want blank page. Save and continue. Okay, save and continue. Okay, so now since the blank page, I have to put that app in. I'm going to come over here, add an app, and I'm choosing the content, create new, call it immunizations. Select that I'm done so I can edit that page. Now I click here, and this is where I would enter the information that I needed to. So of course I can free type, parent grade 6 information. If I wanted to link something, okay, here's how you link. I can type the word, highlight it, go to that chain link to insert the link, and then I can type in the web address here. Okay, what that does, and I'll just use the same link that we had before, even though we'll delete this later just for training purposes. I'll choose insert link, and then it's going to look like this. Okay, so it's a hyperlink now. It's clickable, and it will bring us to that page when we're ready to go there. The other option I have is I can upload a file. So if I have a PDF that parents would need to print, I can choose to upload it, click browse, find something on my, where I've saved it on my desktop. So let's see. Okay, I have the student meal distribution message from Thursday as a PDF, so we'll just use that as an example. I select open and continue. And then I'm going to say that this is, I'll just say that it's a PDF doc just so that you know the difference between the two. And this is up to you. You can keep it as none or open a link in a new window or open a link in the same window. What that means is if I choose open link in a new window, it will open up a new tab up here, and that's where I'll find it. So that means that I have to navigate back and forth between tabs if I want to get back to where I was. If you choose open link in the same window, then that individual can just click on that and then navigate back to the original page that they were on. So it's up to you, whatever you think. Oops, sorry about that.
And what does none do, Melissa?
We'll try that too. So let's just call this PDF, and then the next one will be PDF doc. Okay, so that one's open up in the same window. This one will be okay, and I'll highlight it, come back to insert the file. I can choose to upload the file again, or since I already uploaded it, I can choose existing. And here it is right here. So I can click continue. And I'll choose the target of none, and let's see what that does. Okay, so now I'm going to save this, and we can come back to the middle school page. Okay, and again, I have to, since I made changes, I have to refresh so I can see the immunizations. I'll click on that page. And here I see the link to the website that we went out to before.
Right.
Okay, hyperlink for the website. Now here we have the PDF that's supposed to open in the same window. Okay, so I can see the PDF. And then now as that end user, I just go back to get to where I was prior. And PDF, if we choose the link to not have a target, it's going to open up the same way. So it's going to give me the ability to navigate backwards. So I would probably leave that as none, because that's probably easiest for most people that are going to be visiting your website, for you to direct them where to go and then direct them to get back. It's much easier in my experience to tell someone to select the back button to go back to the previous page, rather than trying to get them to figure out which one of these tabs up here is the last tab that they were on. Usually people have quite a few tabs open, so that can be a little bit tricky. So I would just leave it as none, so that it'll open up in the same window. Now, let me take a look at Vanderveer to see what your setup looks like, because each school is a little bit different. So we're on Vanderveer, we'll click on Health Services. So Health Services right now is just listed as a channel. So we can update that so that you have the options to create pages here. So you have your own channel. That everything that was listed there was on the home page, but you could always make new pages to break that information up, and then also create specific pages for the different forms that you may have. I want you to notice that this here, if you want to make a page inactive, so it's not, so let's say, for example, you have health forms that are due now, but you don't want that listed all the time, or you don't want those 6th grade immunization info to be listed all the time. You don't have to delete it. You just have to click on the active button and make it inactive, and then it's not visible to the end user. So then next year, when you have to do the same thing, you just make yourself a reminder to make that page active, and then it will be visible again to parents once you click on the active button. Let's take a look at the high school. As I said, every school has it set up a little bit differently. Okay, so here we go. You have your own link right here. So we'd go to Health Services. And again, this looks like it's nested under Parents. So if I wanted to go in and update this, I like this, that looks very cute. I would go and choose Site Manager. And see, so here yours looks a little bit different because you have that for parents section, and then yours is listed down here under the health office. So you are set up as a page underneath the for parents section, but we could also always make more pages and kind of nest them under one another so that there's like a drop down. So I could help you with that if you needed to. But for right now, you know, it looks good. You have your forms over here. So you have yours organized in the content app looks a little different. So what the high school page did was took these apps and layouts and kind of pulled them around as little puzzle pieces so that they would show up in a different area. So when we click on the nurse header, that's where we see this image. If we click on the health news, that's everything that's going to be listed on the left side of this page. Okay. And then these are the other two areas that I'll point you to as apps. So you have the healthy tips and then the forms, and you can see that they are listed. Oops, sorry. Right here and right here. So there are ways to organize the page kind of as that puzzle piece to move things in different areas. But I wanted to just show you the most basic ones for today. Now, I won't save this, but if I wanted to change these around, I could also always move these around in any boxes and then just kind of like drop them in where they need to go.
Chris, did you make this up?
No, I did not. That was thanks to Geraldine Barrows in the main office.
Oh,
She got this. Yeah, she really made it look nice. But certainly now, for example, we've been working on updating forms. So now the forms that are currently listed on the site have to be updated or have to be changed. So that would be, I have to figure out how to delete the forms that are there and insert the forms that the new versions.
Okay, so I can show you that. We would go into, you'd start at your page, go to your user options and sign in. We choose the site manager. And then you're going to scroll down to your page. And underneath the area where it says forms, you'll see that pencil icon. So if you click on it, it will bring you in and then you can make these changes. So you can click and this is a file that was uploaded. So you could just upload the new file and then save it. And then do the same thing with each of these. So you just click on edit and then upload the new file and then cancel. I mean, save. You would save.
Right. Oh, okay. All right. That sounds good.
Okay. So we are coming up on just about an hour. So what questions can I answer for you right now? And then what I'd like to do is give you some time to digest the things that we've gone over and then schedule another, like a follow-up where, we can kind of talk about what your experiences were, what ideas you have, and we can kind of help you set up these things, moving forward. So maybe like a week and a half from now, maybe 2 weeks, whatever works for you guys, we can do that. Just
2 weeks is good for me. I want to see this recording again.
Okay. So what I'll do is in this calendar invitation, I will I'll upload it so that you can watch it, but it won't be public to anybody but us because we'll be the only ones with the link and Tanya. So if you wanted to, if you guys were okay with sharing it out to a colleague or somebody you knew in another district, you could. I don't care. But it's not going to be like public, even though I'll post it to YouTube. It'll just be for you guys who have the link. That's how I keep all my videos organized.
Melissa, you had said that if we needed access, that you would be able to give us that access.
Yeah, so let's check that out right now. So where I'm going is, okay, so this is the middle school. I have the editors and viewers here. So I have Maureen listed. Maureen, were you able to log in?
I could log in, but I was afraid to touch anything, so I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay. Sorry, hang on 1 second. Melissa, I'm just finishing up a PD with the nurses. Can I give you a call right back? All right, bye. Okay.
I could log in, but I didn't touch it because I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay, no problem. Just know that you have access specifically to the health services page. So that's why I would start there and then log in. So then you can make your updates. because some of the not everybody has access to all the pages, so there's different settings for each page. So now let's jump over to I checked the high school, so I see that Christine and Amy have access to the site, and let's check Vanderveer.
Well, Christine said she couldn't get into it. Chris, are you here?
Yes, it's, it said something about needing a password, and I didn't know what the password was, or the
Okay,
access information.
I can set it to I can reset it for you now.
Yeah.
So hold on a second. Oh, I don't want group. I want to assign a user. So I want to assign. I don't know if they might not even have put you guys in yet. Okay, so Jen and Allison, I'm making a note here. I have to add you in to give you access to this, and you'll get an email from Blackboard asking you to sign in. So I have to create Jen,
Okay.
and then I have to check all of your settings. And then I'm gonna jump over here. And Allison, while I'm thinking of it, while I'm looking to just double check on Christine's user information, I apologized the other day on that PD. I had been sharing my screen, so I couldn't see. The only way I can see if somebody's trying to join the meet and accept is if I was on this screen and I wasn't. So I didn't see the notification until the end. So I'm sorry. It was
Okay.
juggling too many things, but it is on
No.
post. So, all right. So let me just go.
They're recorded, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching at night. It's all good. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, Christine, I'm going to send you a password reset email now. So you'll just have to get that email and then follow the prompts.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, and then I have to add in Jen. Okay, so I'm going to add you guys now. So Jen and Allison, you will get an email notification shortly, probably within the next half hour. So just accept that. And then if you guys would like 2 weeks, we can, oh, wait, let me just double check here.
Wow, you're a little busy.
Just a little.
Oh my gosh.
God.
It doesn't get better
Thank
either.
Thank you for fitting us in.
No problem.
Really? Literally.
It's like a puzzle. You're certainly earning your paycheck. That's
I could do 12 o'clock again on the 15th. That's 2 weeks from today. Was that good for you guys?
That's fine.
sure.
Okay, great. I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, all right. So I'm just gonna duplicate that and then move it over so that this way you guys can we'll have everything together in one, and I'll send that for that Friday the 15th. And that's flexible. If it doesn't work for you guys as we move forward and you need a little bit more time, you just let me know, and we'll take it from there.
As of right now, we're all saying yes.
Okay, great. So
Yes.
same time, same place, probably. I'll see you guys next week sooner. Stay well, take care, and I hope you have a nice weekend.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Melissa.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks
Bye.
so much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. See you
Bye,
later.
guys.